Well, another legal case with implications on both sides of the Atlantic inched ahead today with Prince Andrew served with legal papers. Virginia Giuffre alleges the Duke of York sexually assaulted her when she was 17 and is seeking damages through a civil case in New York. Prince Andrew denies the allegations. The Duke's legal team have previously disputed whether he'd been officially notified about the case. Earlier, I spoke to Adam Klasfeld, an American journalist who has been following the case, and I began by asking him how are Prince Andrew's tactics being viewed over there?
I think that in the early stages, particularly with the avoiding service, it was seen pretty widely as a delay tactic. At the last hearing where this issue was discussed, the judge made clear, there was a direct quote where he said, let's cut through all the technicalities and get to the substance. So we know that the judge is out of his reserve of patience for the tactic. He ordered a series of ways to just confirm an alternative way of service if the prince is going to continue to dispute it. So the writing is on the wall.
Well, so what might happen next then? What might Prince Andrew's legal tactics be now?
I think that Prince Andrew's lawyers are now on notice that the service issue is a dead end. The next thing will be another technicality, the question of jurisdiction. I think we're going to hear Prince Andrew's lawyers argue next month in court that the U.S. court does not have jurisdiction to hear the case.
In other words, he doesn't have to submit to their authority. Is that what it means in a nutshell?
Precisely.
How likely is it now that Prince Andrew will be quizzed by Giuffre's lawyers, or even that he might have to give evidence in open court?
Well, that will be a matter that comes up after the question of jurisdiction is resolved. To put it again, using the past as a gauge for the future, Virginia Giuffre also sued Ghislaine Maxwell. It's part of that civil litigation, in no small part, was responsible for Maxwell's criminal prosecution. That case did involve depositions of Ghislaine Maxwell. It did pass the initial stages, and there were depositions. Those depositions are now a key part of the criminal prosecution against Ghislaine Maxwell.
And deposition would mean Andrew being quizzed by Giuffre's lawyers?
Absolutely.
Of course, Prince Andrew has consistently denied the allegations, and to some of his supporters, it looks as if he's somehow being trapped by a foreign court system. Do you have any sympathy with that view?
The court will hear whether it has authority to hear his case. In terms of being trapped, this is a kind of that argument being made. It is very routine that people from foreign countries are served with court papers in around the world. The Southern District of New York hears cases from all around the world, and there's a lot of people are saying in the United States, no one is above the law. Even that this case shows not even a prince is above the law in civil litigation, to those who are sympathetic to this lawsuit.
The judge foresaw a lot of money being spent in legal fees on this case. How long do you think this could all go on for, and how much could be run up in terms of bills and costs?
Now, that, again, it depends on how long the litigation spans. We could be hearing jurisdictional issues for months, and you have very expensive lawyers racking up a lot of legal bills. I think that's what the judge was talking about in the last hearing. In terms of how long it could take, I would again point to the case against Ghislaine Maxwell. That civil litigation lasted years before it was settled. Now, if it wasn't settled, perhaps the case would still be going through the courts right now. And in a sense, it already is, because the open records battle is still happening. And it's been more than half a decade since that case was filed.
Adam Klasfeld, thanks very much.
Thank you very much.